Blue Jays finally get the slugger they're looking for in free agency by signing Anthony Santander to a 5-year, $92.5 million contract. What happened? It finally happened. The Blue Jays finally get a coveted free agent after strikeout after strikeout after strikeout of a lot of the big names. Now, many people may not view Anthony Santander as a big fish. Regardless, the Blue Jays were able to sign someone to bring in to improve their roster and supply better protection around Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And it is a move that I actually really like for both sides, for Santander and for the Blue Jays. Now, you look at Anthony Santander's side, this guy has been one of the premier power bats in MLB the last couple of years. Obviously had a career season in 2024, hitting 44 home runs. Obviously starting his career out with the Orioles, with some horrid Baltimore Orioles teams in that late 2010s, early 2020s. For Santander, the last few seasons, he's been good for at least 28 plus home runs a season, giving you kind of below average defense in the outfield, but really you wouldn't really be signing him for his glove. You'd be more signing him for his bat. Plays great as a switch hitter. Obviously, he gets a lot more production from the left side. Guys, I call Anthony Santander Tony Santa because the dude is an absolute baller. I love Anthony Santander. He's coming off the best season of his career. 44 home runs, 102 RBIs. The batting average was a bit below his career standard, but obviously that was because of the uptick in production when it came to the bat, and that's just the day and age of baseball we're in. In terms of the power department, he was one of the 5 best pure power hitters in baseball, going up with the likes of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. But you got a guy entering his age 30 season who's coming off of one of the most productive seasons of his career. First time All-Star and won the Silver Slugger for right field. This is a guy who is going to mash for the next couple of years of his career, and I feel that definitely that first half of that contract is going to do him very well. For me, I think he's more suited as a DH, maybe splitting time in the outfield. According to Fangraphs, they have him playing left field, and I don't hate that at all. I'm not saying he's a terrible outfielder. I feel he's serviceable out there. He has a decent arm. They can trot him out there every day and more or less be fine. Someone like Dalton Varsho out there in center field for the Blue Jays will more or less be tracking a lot of the balls down. But regardless, what does this mean for the Blue Jays? For the Blue Jays, you finally bring in some protection around Vladdy, bring in a proven bat that raises the floor of that Blue Jays offense. That kind of home run potential is a hot commodity these days in this day and age of baseball. So I think the combination of him and Vladdy back to back is going to be very, very good. It's going to be very productive, I'd feel, especially leaving a place like Camden Yards, what used to be, a hitter's dream. Obviously, with Santander being a switch hitter, he reaped the benefits of being a lefty bat in that ballpark, but also he dealt with hardships of being a righty bat in that ballpark at times. Going north of the border, I feel like his stats are going to reflect that of no longer playing in Camden Yards. He added a lot more production when he was away from Camden Yards compared to when he was actually playing there. But I do love the signing for the Blue Jays. I love the fact that they were able to improve their roster and it seems like it's not even ending with Santander, because there's already been reports that the Blue Jays are also looking at Pete Alonso and Jurickson Profar and bolster that starting lineup even more. You talk about the potential of this Blue Jays team. If a lot goes right for this Blue Jays team, like the Blue Jays can be very competitive. Obviously, you have the star power in Vladdy and what he's been bringing to the table, especially a monster season he had last year. Bring that, and then you surround that with the potential of Bo Bichette bouncing back in a contract year for him. Anthony Santander coming off the best season of his career and traded for Andres Jimenez, who's one of the best defensive second basemen in the league. Dalton Varsho, one of the best defensive center fielders in the league. George Springer's still there. He can still give you quality production, still being around a 2020 guy. At the same time, this is under the impression that the Blue Jays aren't done. For Santander, you kind of saw the writing on the wall in Baltimore in terms of just how Baltimore has been going about bringing up young talent, young guys to go and slot in. Honestly, you can see Colton Cowser moving from left field to right field. Cowser can fit seamlessly in right field, and as they brought in Baltimore, bringing in Tyler O'Neill over the course of the offseason. Toronto, on the other hand, they absolutely needed someone with Santander's production. Like I said, going into his age 30 season, I think Santander is going to be very productive for the first half or the first 3 years of that contract. The latter half, when he's 34, 35 years old, I'm not entirely sure. Power may still be there, but like I said before, I think Santander is better suited as a DH with, spot time in the outfield over the length of the contract, really. By all means, I don't think this puts the Blue Jays, any further along in terms of contention, but I think this is a step in the right direction if they want to keep trying to trot out a competitive team. Anthony Santander is a good signing for the Blue Jays. I just don't believe that this puts the Blue Jays any closer to the hunt of another World Series. It does solve some issues, especially when it comes to having consistent production at a spot in the lineup that you need. And the value of the contract for Santander kind of falls in line with what his market was really predicting. And in terms of the contract, from what I can see, he has a 6th-year club option that could raise that contract from $92.5 million to $110 million. And I think the AL East is wide open. So, a couple moves here and there, then you're easily in the hunt for trying to fight for that division. Toronto definitely gets better from this move. Do I think Baltimore gets that much worse with Anthony Santander no longer being there? I don't think his production is going to be that big of a loss, especially with guys that are getting called up. Signing Tyler O'Neill, who hit over 30 home runs last year, while the Yankees, lost a big bat in Juan Soto. They've been trying to supplement his loss with guys like Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt. Red Sox are still yet to, add a big bat. It's going to be real interesting to see how Anthony Santander works out in Toronto. I think he's going to absolutely ball out. You guys let me know, how much better did the Blue Jays get adding Anthony Santander? Do you think that was the right move for him? Do you think that was the right move for the Blue Jays? How are you guys feeling about the MLB offseason? I want all your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure you guys show support on the channel and also stay up to date with all your favorite sports by checking out VendettaSportsMedia.com. With all that being said, guys, that's going to do it for me, and I'll catch you guys next time.